It's a tale as old as time to buy a Toyota or to upgrade to a Lexus. Okay, so maybe old as time is exaggerating a little bit, but it's still a good question. And today we have a 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander and a 2025 Lexus TX. These are two shockingly similar vehicles, but with slightly different customers. You see, this is a big, family-friendly SUV, perfect for a shopper who values dependability. And this is a big, family-friendly SUV that's perfect for a shopper that values dependability and a little bit of luxury. But luxury, of course, is not free, and the Lexus, it's not cheap. So let's find out if this is worth the extra scratch, or if you should just buy the Toyota instead. Height, it's the same, 70.1 inches, or a little more if you put those crossbars on top. Width, also the same, 78.3 inches. Length, well, there's the difference, because this is about 1.5 inches longer than this. But this has a little bit more cargo space than this. I don't know how they did that, but if you're worried about dimensions, all you need to know is from the outside, they're the same size. The real differences out here are all about styling. The Toyota features this big wide mouth grille and this intake around the badge. On the Lexus though, it's another edition of the spindle grille with these DRLs swooping into the party. The profile view of each is very anonymous, slab-sided and just shy of hulking. Neither of these SUVs lean on design. They're anonymous, unremarkable, but also not offensive at all. If I had to choose one, I think I like the Toyota Grand Highlander a little bit more, especially up front on the grille. But I will say that the D-pillar, that rear quarter panel on the Lexus, it adds a little bit more flair. The TX also starts with 20-inch wheels and goes up to 22s, whereas the Grand Highlander stands on 18s and 20s. Wide-spaced letters at the rear, again, applied on the Lexus but embossed on the Toyota, and each has its own unique taillight design. Honestly, from an exterior design standpoint, it's tough to pick a clear winner. I think I prefer the Grand Highlander, but I want to hear from you, so let us know in the comments. Are you Team Toyota or Team Lexus? This is where things get interesting though, because right now I'm in the Toyota Grand Highlander and it's equipped with the upgraded engine. Toyota calls it the Hybrid Max. And yes, it's a silly name, but a solid powertrain. We're talking about 362 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. That is enough to make a vehicle this size feel pretty sprightly. Now I know Natalie was not as impressed as I am with the Hybrid Max powertrain in this particular car. You can watch her full review of the Grand Highlander, but maybe I'm just a slowpoke. I get in this thing, we're gonna let it go, and it feels to me like it has plenty of get up and go. Now the steering, so a little background, I drove the base engine in the Grand Highlander when it first debuted, and that one I did find to be a little lackluster. I also noted that the steering was really numb, vague, like it didn't feel like you had a lot of feedback coming through the wheel. That still is true here. And the 6-speed automatic transmission, it takes a moment. Sorry, we are going around a roundabout with a really, really big truck next to me. The 6-speed takes a little bit of time to downshift and upshift. You know, it's definitely stretching those gears more than you would stretch them with the 8-speed automatic that's in the Lexus TX, which we'll drive shortly. But the power delivery is still, it's not the fastest onset, but when it gets going, it's all you're ever gonna need. And fuel economy really isn't bad. I mean, we're driving around in Boston where you're never gonna see the EPA's estimate for city fuel economy. But as we come to a stop here, because again, we're driving in Boston, we're supposed to get 26 in the city, 27 on the highway. I think that's right. We'll correct it if I'm wrong. We're seeing 20, which doesn't hit those numbers, but again, for Boston city traffic, 20 miles per gallon in a vehicle this size with this much power is commendable. Now the road feel, I mean, I've been driving around on really crappy pavement. Here, let's hit a pothole. Barely felt that. Really smooth. Let's get a bigger one. Yeah, still not that bad at all. Really quite happy with the road manners of this, particularly given that it's such a huge car. It is, I mean, it's a lot of power for a vehicle this size, but more than just the power delivery, which actually the delivery, it is a little delayed. The 6-speed automatic transmission that Toyota uses with the Hybrid Max engine, it's not quite as responsive as the 8-speed that I was testing in the TX. We'll get to that in a little bit. But otherwise the road manners are really good. I mean, I've hit countless potholes in this vehicle and it smooths them out. It rolls a little more than the competition. It's not quite as tight as the Kia Telluride and the Twisties, but again, it's a 3-row SUV. You know, once upon a time, we would buy a car this size and we expected it to drive like a boat. Nobody's comparing this to a boat anymore. I also find the steering, I mean, the steering it's pretty vague. I noted that when I tested the Grand Highlander with the base engine, when it debuted, that was actually 2 years ago. It debuted for 2024, but we tested it in 2023. The steering was pretty vague. That's still the case here. There's not a lot of feedback, but the ride quality, the noise, the level of comfort, frankly, the ergonomics of the driver's seat are exceptional. This vehicle doesn't feel really, really big, and yet it is bigger than a Telluride. It's bigger than a Palisade, much bigger than a CX-90. It drives nice and tidy, though. I mean, I drive around like into Boston, in and out of Boston every single week. I really value a vehicle that doesn't feel big and heavy and tough to drive, but I also have a kid now, and suddenly I need more space than I ever thought I would need. So being able to combine those two things, having all of that space and having road manners that are so manageable is, I mean, there's a lot to like here. All right, now the big test for a full-size or, large mid-size SUV driving in the city is how does it make the U-turn? Pretty well, better than that Nissan Frontier I'm driving behind. And the best part, in my opinion, the best part about the Grand Highlander and its availability with this engine is that it starts with the Hybrid Max engine. You can get it for $56,615. And as we will see, that's actually a pretty great deal. And that's because this is a Lexus TX 350, and it doesn't have the Hybrid Max powertrain. It has, it has a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that does make 275 horsepower and 314 pound-feet of torque. Numbers that, by all accounts, should be enough. But when they're compared with the Hybrid Max, they leave you wanting more. I mean, for one, the engine note in this car is not nearly as nice as it is in that Grand Highlander. I also feel like you really have to get deep into the throttle before you feel any sense of urgency to that acceleration. And when I buy a luxury car, I want luxury elements to the driving experience. And surely, like the wind noise, engine noise, there's a goose just running down the road. There's another one. That stuff, it's nicely dampened. It's like very quiet. But with the 22-inch wheels, it's not particularly smooth. I mean, you can see me probably bumping along as we roll over to these potholes. And it all comes down to that powertrain. It's not oomphy enough. It doesn't have enough get up and go. And the fact that you can get a Grand Highlander for $56K and change with the Turbo Max engine, but if you want it in the TX, you're starting at over $70,000, just doesn't feel like you're getting enough value out of the Lexus. And I understand it's a luxury product, but you're effectively getting the luxury engine for almost $15,000 less in the non-luxury make. So with that in mind, I think I lean towards the Grand Highlander if you're going to be spending the money for the nicer engine. In terms of the rest of it, I mean, the interior in here is nicer. We'll get into that a little later. And it does have, I mean, the body roll is pretty much the same as it is in the Grand Highlander. But maybe it's the quietness. It's better insulated. It doesn't feel quite as rough as the Toyota, unless you're heavily accelerating, and then you do get that roughness. Now, I do prefer the 8-speed automatic that's in our test car over the 6-speed automatic that they pair with the Hybrid Max, but otherwise, I mean, everything about the powertrain I would take in the Toyota with the better engine over the Lexus with the base engine. Everything else, though, I mean, the Lexus looks, feels, it's just a nicer car. There's no denying that. Like the things I'm touching, door panel feels softer. I like this covering here more. The steering wheel feels really good. And I'm looking at things that are quite a bit more beautiful than they are in that Toyota. The wheels, talk about looking beautiful. The wheels on the Lexus are 22 inches and they're stunners. They are 22 inches and that makes quite a bit rougher ride. But I imagine with 20s, this thing is probably butter smooth. The wind noise, road noise, engine noise, all very quiet. It really does capture a lot of the Lexus driving feel. It just doesn't get the luxury driving dynamics that I'm looking for. And at that price, I mean, $75,000, I want the Lexus to be playing in a completely different ballpark. And for the most part, I don't think it is. The Grand Highlander doesn't feel cutting edge, and there are definitely some interior upgrades inside this Lexus TX, but the family resemblance is still undeniable. We have leather trimmed seats, and the driver's seat and the front passenger seat offer 10-way power adjustment with 4-way power lumbar, something I appreciated as my back just continues to get older. And of course, because this is the TX 350 luxury trim, we get heated and ventilated front seats, and the middle row gets heated and ventilated seats too, thanks to a $680 option. And while the material quality above the hip point, above the belt line here, does feel nicer, I mean, this center armrest console, this opens up in 2 directions, which is nice, but this also feels pretty good. The steering wheel is nice leather wrapped feel. We have this Alcantara upholstery up here on the dash, although that is in place of the shelf that you get in the Grand Highlander. I like this 2-tone look over here and the big speaker cover. Go below all that though, and there's a lot of hard, cheap feeling plastic, and some of that's to be expected. I mean, it's below your sight line. It's not uncommon. It just doesn't feel, well, it doesn't feel that nice, and notably, it doesn't feel appreciably better than what you get in the Grand Highlander. Now, the other thing is the cup holder. So if I put this down here, these are innovative. You know, you can take these out, you can arrange them the way you want, although really you only have a few arrangements. You basically have 3 places. You can put 1, you can put 2. You can't put 2 in. If you put 2 in there, you're locked into the position. The bigger problem, these themselves feel cheap. I mean, they're designed to look nice with this little silver piece up top, but they're all plastic. And I just worry about the time where one of them finally comes loose or something, or if it's not quite in there, it's just like a rattle. It just doesn't feel Lexus quality. In the Grand Highlander, we have a leather and ultra suede upholstery, which is pretty nice, although the base LE trim comes with cloth upholstery. There's even more plastic in the Toyota than in the Lexus. I mean, there's a lot. And the center console and dash, while trimmed with leather, they have their fair share of plastic. But remember, there was plastic in the Lexus as well. In many luxury cars, you're paying for the upgraded materials, and you get upgraded materials in the Lexus. But when I look around this Toyota, I mean, we still have leather trimming on the center console, along the dash, along this point where your knee is gonna hit. And a lot of the materials, they look good, they sound fine. I mean, there's a little bit of scratchiness here, but again, Toyota, not Lexus. I feel like it's not so much that we're dinging the Lexus as much as I'm really elevating my expectations for what I get out of this Toyota Grand Highlander. It's an impressive interior. Setting aside the competition just for a moment, both of these vehicles are outstanding at their intended purpose, which is comfortably shuttling around a whole bunch of people. But back to the competition just for a moment. You can get a bench seat in here, but in the Lexus TX, that means you can only fit 7 people in it because its back row only fits 2 people. But in the Grand Highlander, we have seating for 3 back there, so it can do 8. All right, point for the Grand Highlander if you have, dare I say, too many children. Now, in speaking of children, I'm not, well, I'm somebody's kid, but I'm a grown man now. I'm 5'11", and I have plenty of space in the 2nd row, and I can fit reasonably comfortably in the 3rd row as well. I was surprised to note that in the TX, I had to move the front passenger seat forward a surprising amount to fit my 1-year-old daughter's rear-facing car seat in this spot. Now, if you are a 1-year-old who gets chauffeured around, you'll probably appreciate that both vehicles can be found with, this is called climate controls in the rear seats and window shades. And of course, because we have a up-level trim, we actually have heated and ventilated seats in the 2nd row. Pretty nice. The two vehicles also have very similar tech, although the interfaces and some of the controls are different. So let's start with this Lexus. This is a 14-inch touchscreen display equipped with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, plus this wireless phone charger that can be slid out of the way to access some hidden storage. That's cool. The tech itself is good, and below the display, Lexus integrates touch-sensitive buttons for all the climate control features, including these great illuminated climate knobs. And frankly, this area is where the better look and feel of the luxury brand really starts to shine through. I actually prefer the tactile feel of physical buttons most of the time, but it's worth noting that the TX, I mean, the controls in here, they're very easy to use. Part of that might just be that they're nice and big. I also think it looks significantly more upscale than what you get in the Toyota. In the Toyota, those buttons look like this. Hard, gray plastic, albeit easy to use and less fiddly than a touchscreen control. Also, this is not a 14-inch display. In the Grand Highlander, the touchscreen is 12.3 inches, but we still have wireless Apple CarPlay, we have Sirius XM radio, and then we have a bunch of subscription-dependent things. So, for instance, you can have streaming music if you have a subscription. You have a cloud-based navigation system with a subscription. There are things like remote start. Again, they require a subscription, but they're the same in the Toyota as they are in the Lexus. Now, one area where things do get a little different is the available premium audio system. In the Grand Highlander, you can upgrade to get this 11-speaker JBL stereo. In the Lexus, it's a 21-speaker Mark Levinson system that I'd rank up there with the best in the industry. So, which one should you buy? Well, the Toyota Grand Highlander is a very compelling option, but the Lexus, I mean, the interior is definitely nice, so the tech is more polished, and of course, it has the cachet of a luxury badge. There's also a better warranty with the Lexus, 4 years and 50,000 miles instead of 3 years, 36,000 miles. But the Grand Highlander is no slouch, and with a new LE trim for 2025 and a starting price of just $42,310, including destination, you can't deny that there's a lot more value here than there is here. For me, between these two specific cars, it comes down to that engine. And if the Hybrid Max engine that we experienced in the Toyota was exclusive instead to the Lexus, well then I would say buy the Lexus, no question. But the thing is, it's not exclusive to Lexus. in the end, the Lexus is still only marginally nicer than this Toyota. And if you're ready to spend Lexus money, well, you get a lot more for your money by buying a Toyota Grand Highlander with the upgraded engine than you do buying a Lexus TX with the base engine. Now, thanks for watching. As always, if I overlooked something, let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. And if you're ready to start shopping, well, go to CarGurus.com, where we have so many listings of both Grand Highlanders and the Lexus TX.